What does that mean?
You know what that is? No. What that means is that they expect your parents to have some type of standard for you to live your life. So
and what happens? No. And what happens when they don't?
Guns, if you're out here flashing guns, you're making the family look bad. John Morant.
What happens when you don't?
What happens when
you make the family look bad? What happens when you make the family look bad? Then what happens?
It's shameful. It's embarrassing.
That's
shameful.
Not true.
And guess what?
There's a reason people say your parents didn't teach you that way. It's not always the fact.
It's shameful.
Listen.
Say it all the time. I know you weren't raised
nobody,
that way. No.
Let's be real. In 2023, nobody gives a about shame.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do. I care
No. Let's be clear. Let's be very, very clear. Shame is out the window.
Nope.
Nobody gives a about shame, and shame has nothing to do with being held accountable.
Not with men.
Yeah, in my household, it's shame in this mother.
Wait, but I have a question.
Everybody else soft mother don't know shame. Men know shame.
Fuck that. Don't come home like that. My son got suspended in the 3rd grade. That was the last time I said, "Hey, you out here representing us like this?
Can't represent."
This is what I'm talking about. You got suspended for what? Oh no, we're not doing that.
I agree with we should shame more, but honestly, when he did this first incident, did you think, oh, it's his father's fault, or did you say this?
Yeah.
Person?
I
think it's his father's fault. It's his father's fault. Absolutely.
I went to the father.
Y'all thought that?
I thought of the father quick because he's young. But when I went just like Biden's son, right? We all know he was out here with the dope and all the stuff in the back, shaming the family, right? And they were trying to cover that up. We all know what it was, shaming the family.
And so at what point?
White folks is shaming the family.
White folks ain't. At what point was Biden held accountable?
Biden was held accountable for what? What do you think he was? Biden was trying to cover it up because he was a president of the United States.
At what point was Biden held accountable? Who held him accountable and at what point?
I'm just telling you all the time. You just see all these people.
When?
You tell me these Republicans didn't get on here and say you in the White House, you can't even control your family, but you trying to control the country?
And that's how they held him accountable?
You putting shame on his name.
Yes.
Motherfucker, you can't leave. So, hey, Anton, let's just say this. You got some kids. I don't know if you got kids. And some of your kid do something. And then they be like, oh, man, Anton out here making his money. But you know what? Your kid out here, you know what, Anton? You're probably a bad father. You know what, Anton? You're probably not a great leader like you say you are because your child is out here messing up.
Facts.
And at what point am I held accountable for that?
Right there.
By them saying it to me.
But that's the truth. Your child is out here wilding.
Your name is the accountability. Y'all not looking at names.
I have to agree with that standpoint because YouTubers will make a whole video.
No. We're not talking about the internet, Q. We talking about real life. Listen. This conversation is based off of John Morant and his father, right? This is the conversation that we having. We talking about a real life situation. We can sit here and talk about this all we want to, but ain't none of us holding John Morant accountable because he don't have to answer to us.
Okay.
He probably don't give a about what we think. Okay. Our version of what accountability looks like on the internet ain't.
But he should give
holding him accountable. You know what accountability looks like? It's the Memphis Grizzlies suspending him that initial $600,000 for the 8 games, and then losing $39 million as a result of not being named the All NBA first team. That's accountability. That's how you hold somebody as accountable. You tap them pockets. You the money. You make sure they get suspended. You remove something out of their life that allows for them to be able to be more comfortable. That's accountability. But you can't sit here and tell me that screaming or saying, listen, I don't like what it is that you did, and your son is over there and he's over there making deals.
Ain't that what you do when you complain about women? Ain't that what you do when you complain about women?
No,
it's the same thing.
Absolutely
when you complain
not.
about women.
Absolutely not.
So what you're saying is, the people. Look, we can't hold him accountable because it doesn't hit his pockets. You're saying that we supposed to ghostly hold women accountable on social media because
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said was, and every single example that I used was real life. Every example that I used was real life. It had nothing to do with the internet at all. Every example that I used. So what is you talking about?
Okay, so you did mention something about child support laws, right?
Correct.
And you said, and most of the child support laws was made in what year was that?
In the early 50s.
Okay, so who was the dominant voters in the 50s?
Men.
Okay, so who made those laws for those women?
Simps.
Okay, so at the end of the day, was the men in control who made these laws for these women and still not changing them?
I'm gonna answer that. I can't wait till you go there.
Those laws. So
but here's the beautiful part about it.
Men in the 50s need to be held accountable for making
I'm glad that you brought this up, because the laws was established at a time where women had no rights.
Women
they didn't have no. Listen. And this is the beauty in having conversations, because now I can add the context. They didn't have the ability to make the type of money that men make. They didn't have the voting rights. They didn't have the ability to go to college and be able to level up the way that they did now. They didn't have the ability to determine what happened in their household. And so as a result, the laws was created to protect a class that was literally substandard based off of what society was operating at that time. And so as a result, now that we've evolved, and women often at times in some situations have more rights than you do, because if somebody called the police, if somebody is an observer and they see you and another woman and they even think that y'all having an argument, it don't even have to be nothing. If they call the police on you right now, is going to be the one that's on the chopping block, not her.
I hear you, but you mentioned the Bible earlier. And I know you read the Bible. No, I'm going right there.
What about the laws that was established at the time?
I'm going there with you. I'm going there with you.
No. What about the time? Hold on, wait. I'm going with the Bible. Hold on, wait. Let me just add this one caveat. Don't you know that at that time, it was okay for a man to put his hands on his chick?
Okay, what does that mean?
Basically, it was an ability for him to discipline her. Mm-hmm. She was looked at as a lower being compared to men. That's the time that those laws was established.
You talking about the simps, right?
Matters.
You said something about the simps, so I can agree with that. That's what normally what weak men do. So let me just say this to you, though. I know what you're saying when it pertains to the times and all of that. Well, I mean, we're in 2023 and they're still the same. So I understand what you're saying, but even biblically it says, what are we supposed to do as men? We protect women, right? So at the end of the day, what you're saying is we should hold all the women accountable, but we should forget it. The other part is we should protect women too. You're talking about simps. Hold on, let me finish this. You say you're talking about simps. When you mention the word simp, you're talking about less than a man. This man, or one who pretends to be one, are normally the ones that are not able to lead, not able to protect, and not able to do those things. So those laws are in place for those punks. We know who they are. So at the end of the day, there's a majority of those guys. There's only about 5% real men out here in this world.
You are wrong,
for us to act like just because you walking around and you're born genetically a man, you're not a man because of that.
You are wrong. You are dead wrong.
The definition of simps, you wrong, bro.
Oh my God, this is crazy.